Okay, welcome back guys and girls. So today is another concept video on popular killers requested by you, the viewers. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so guys and you enjoy the content, then press that subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. So far we have done Jason, SCP-106, Springtrap, Pennywise and Chucky was the last killer that we've done a concept on. So if you've missed any of those, the link to those are above. We've got plenty more to come in preparation for chapter 17 and 18. Who we've been told are going to be licensed characters, so it gives us a lot of scope to have some fun and try to work out who the hell this killer is going to be. So today we are looking at a killer called Ram. So there he is there, fine specimen of whatever he is. We've added him into the game. This is what he would potentially look like if you picked him. This is what his stance would be like. So let's take a look and see who is Ram. So Ram was the High General of the Locust Army in the hit game Gears of War. So classed as the greatest general in Locust ranks, he is one of the main antagonists in the game itself. Gears of War was basically a third-person shooter game released in 2006 on the Xbox 360. The game follows protagonist Marcus Phoenix, a soldier tasked to lead a last-ditch attempt to destroy the Locust Horde and save humanity. The game spawned a number of sequels and won numerous awards, so it was quite a big game and a hit back in the days when it was released. Dead by Daylight is no stranger to bringing out licensed characters from games, so we've already had Bill, Pyramid Head as well, anybody? So with all the talk and popularity in regards to Springtrap, would it be possible for Behaviour to get another crossover from a popular hit game series? So we know everything about Springtrap. That would be a crossover from Five Nights at Freddy's. So is it possible to bring someone over from the game Gears of War? So what we'll do, let's have a look at Ram's powers and perks, how he would look in Dead by Daylight. The backstory to him. His backstory, which doesn't give too much away. It was decided that it wasn't really, a bit like a Demogorgon, we don't really know much about him. So the backstory, an unnatural beast that stops at nothing to complete the objective. This was Ram, a former leader of the Locust Horde with brute-like qualities, seemingly indestructible and more powerful than anything humanity had ever seen before. This guy's about 10 foot tall. He is tall. Ram was a confident general who was the last resort for any attack on the humans that stood above them. This confidence led him to many successes but also many defeats towards the humans. Ram never stopped until those that just so happened to be non-Locust were in a pool of blood at his feet. This guy's brutal. Reading all about him, he's a brutal general. However, humans weren't Ram's only concern. The Lambent were taking over the Hollows. The Lambent were mutated locusts caused by the fuel known as emulsion. This fuel was a living organism that would latch onto any host it could get close to, spanning from creatures native to the Hollow to locusts and eventually even to humans. With this concern brewing within him, Ram ordered his army to advance towards the surface. E-Day occurred and the war between humanity and the Horde was just beginning. Chapter would be the Gears of War chapter. His name, rather than go for his name Ram, he is being called a general, and again thanks to T-Rex for all the work he's put into this. Difficulty, we decided his difficulty would be hard, and his attributes 4.6 meters per second, 32 meter terror radius, and he's tall. Like I said, he's 10 foot tall. As always, he's got 3 teachable perks, but first let's look at his powers. So what powers could he have in Dead by Daylight? So obviously the idea is when you're bringing a licensed character over, you're bringing over powers that would both fit in the game and be a drawback to the game that he was from, or the movie, or whatever. So the powers is called the Shadow of the Hollows. So the general has krill surrounding him during the entire trail, which allows him to perform abilities that should not seem possible. Krill are basically deadly creatures native to the Hollows. So his primary ability would be Krill Guidance. So pressing and holding the power button, the general can see the auras of all pallets that have been thrown down, as well as all windows within a 40 meter range. Whilst in this state, a general will be able to point at generators, pallets and windows, which will cause the krill to travel through the air to break these items or block a window. Windows would be blocked for 5 seconds. This ability has an 8-second cooldown. using this ability is going to also reduce your movement from 4.6 to 4.4, so basically 115 to 110%. So you would be in a slower movement state. His secondary ability would be the Krill Swarm. So whilst in Krill guidance mode, if you press the attack button, you will release a roar that will cause the Krill to fly in a straight line. If this hits a survivor, they will be instantly put into the dying state. This ability has a cooldown of 15 seconds and Krill flight speed will be 5 meters per second. So he's basically got a range attack. That's what it comes down to. So think a pyramid head with his big sword when he has his range attacks. That's what this Krill Swarm would sort of look like. Fits really well with the game, as you can see. We're putting on little videos there showing you in the game, because I can put this in without getting copyrighted. Like, unfortunately with the movies I keep getting copyright hit for the putting clips in, but I can do this with a game. Special ability, his Krill Shield. Again, this comes from the game, so pressing the secondary power button will enable a Krill Shield. Whilst the shield is active, the general will move at 4.4 meters per second, but you will be immune to all stuns. You cannot hit a survivor else in this phase, so it sounds overpowered, but it removed the ability to hit the survivor. So the shield will take 0.5 seconds to enter and 3 seconds to exit. The ability can be used by counter survivors, so you cannot be stunned. Pallet stunned, flashlight, DS, all that will be taken into account, so you could choose to use this while picking the survivor up. Now, if you're in chase, like we said, you cannot hit the survivor because you won't have your powers, but you can use it to sort of block off being stunned and that. But 3-second deactivation time, so it is quite a while. It's long in the games. Losing 3 seconds on a chase could be quite vital, so that's where the balance comes into it. Alright, so as I said, with the general, he has his 3 teachable perks. Let's see what these are. So the first one is called Cog Killer. So you are used to inflicting pain upon others and making them pay for going against your authority. So after hitting a survivor, Cog Killer will activate. Once it's activated, the next time a survivor heals themselves or gets healed by a teammate, the healed survivor will be inflicted by the hindered and exhausted status effect for 70, 75 and 80 seconds. Cog Killer has a cooldown of 60 seconds. So as soon as they've healed, hindered and can't use dead eye, etc., for 70, 75, 80 seconds, they're gonna have they're not going to see what's happening around them and they'll be exhausted. So quite a good perk there. So his next perk is called, it's going to be a Hex Totem, and it's Hex Hordes Rise. So as a general, you embody everything you claim to believe, so all survivors will be inflicted by the hindered status effect at the start of the trial. Each time you put 3, 2 or 1 survivors into the dying state whilst the totem is active, every generator will be given an extremely difficult skill check for 25 seconds, so think about overcharge on the doctor. You're getting incentivized for putting people down, so every time you put more survivors into a dying state whilst the totem is active, the generator is going to be a little bit tricky for them to do. So that was perk number 2, and his final perk is Cunning Presence. So your intimidating presence causes extreme panic for those below you. When a survivor is in your terror radius, vaulting and pallet dropping speeds are decreased significantly. Now this works on how many survivors are in your terror radius. So the more survivors you have in there, the more the penalties increase. So if you've got 1 survivor in your terror radius, their vault speed and pallet dropping speed will drop by 8, 9 or 10%. 2 survivors, 13, 14, 15, 3, 18, 19, 20, and if there's 4 survivors in your terror radius, so they're all working well as a team, they will have a 23, 24 and 25% decrease in vaulting and dropping the pallets. So that is his 3 teachable perks there. So let me know what you think, guys. Drop a comment down below. Let me know, do they fit in well with the game? Because as always, like I always say in all the videos, what you've got to remember is the perks have to be transferable. So once they become teachables, you can use them with other killers. Would they fit with the general, and would they fit with other killers as well? Okay, so we look at the map. So the map that we would use would be the House of Sovereigns, Old Ephira. So that'd be a mixture of indoors outdoors, and you've also got some underground as well. So I've just put a picture of the map there for you, so you can see the doorways there. You can go inside, you'll have the outdoor area itself, and you've got the underground, and it's going to be very atmospheric, so when you're underground you'll be able to hear quite a lot of noises, things like that. So yeah, really like that idea. And for the survivor, so I've done this with the last two concepts. The survivor that we would use would obviously be Marcus Phoenix, so he is the main antagonist in the game, so having him as a survivor. Now it'd be interesting because you would look how would he fit in the game. In all the games we've seen, he's got all his armor, he wouldn't have a gun obviously, so it'd be interesting to see, but I'm sure a backstory could be brought into it on that aspect. And finally, now I haven't done this before, but let's have a look at what could potentially be a Mori for the general. So looking at this clip now, you can see what he has a habit of doing is twisting someone's neck right round. Yeah, so you could imagine in the game, puts them down on the knees, snaps the neck, and moves on to the next one. Now obviously, the animation will be slowed down in order to make it a long enough Mori, but yeah, that seems to all fit really well into the whole concept. Let me know what you think, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Like I said, got plenty of other concepts on the way as well, so if there's a particular one you'd like to see, just drop it in the comments below. Let me know who you think would be in the game and who you'd like in the game, or who you'd just like to see a concept on. Could be anybody. If you enjoyed the video, guys, just give it a quick like. Like I said, drop me a comment, and if you haven't already done so and you do enjoy the content, then please press that subscribe button and keep up to date with all the other videos on my channels. Alright, thanks guys.